Answers. We're doing this video cast that we've been working on for some time now. The heart of it is trying to answer questions that people are asking us. There's a lot of questions that people have about Jesus, about the church, about the Bible, about the world at large. And the question that comes up today is about individuality. What we're calling in our Substitute Dreams season the dream of self. You've probably noticed that across our 4 congregations, we're trying to keep one theme at our Sunday meetings. This season is Substitute Dreams, and this week we're talking about the dream of self. The idea that you have all that it takes within you to express your faith and to even save yourself. We have a whole different philosophy about mutuality. So the question at hand is, why do I need to work out my faith with others? Pastors have talked about this a lot, so they'll have a lot of insight about it. Why don't you get us started, Joshua?
Well, I think somebody wondering, I mean, I've had this conversation with people who might say, I'm kind of better alone. You know, I don't want to be representative of a group, and I don't want a group to represent me. I'm kind of on a journey, and I'm trying to figure stuff out. And that's like a live conversation I'm having with several people. And I kind of get that, because when you start allowing yourself to be connected to others, there is a little bit of a loss there of certain amounts of liberty, certain amounts of ability to do as you please, and there's some losses that go along with it, like the mutuality, which I'm sure we're getting into here.
Rachel, would you add more to that?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about how we're getting to know Jesus, and he's calling us to look beyond ourselves. That definitely includes ourselves, because we're not getting like consumed or disappeared in that process. We're getting expanded. So I'm thinking about how my cell is working on multiplying, and if we just divide the group, then we are getting smaller. We're doing what the world does in dividing ourselves up into these individual pods, you know, according to our preferences or rights or something. But if we're forming the church, if we're getting to know Jesus and following Jesus, I think we're doing something bigger that is going to make space for more people to get into this kind of love and mutuality with God.
Benjamin?
Yeah, practically, I'm talking a lot about our covenant of love that's at the center of our church recently, because our love feast is coming up on the 23rd, and where we express that mutuality face to face in covenant, taking the cup of Jesus's new covenant together, which is the like heart of the feast. And I mean, I might just say, you know, I could just say, I don't know how to do what Jesus told me when he said, do this in remembrance of me, except in around a table with the people that I'm in covenant love with. So obedience would be my first answer that I thought of today.
You know, in my experience, most people are asking the question, and they are individualistic, truly, but they don't often think that they're working out their faith or even their lives by themselves. Generally, they're working them out with their friends, the people they like, the people they get along with, the people that they're not mad at right now. You know, most people don't actually think they're working out their faith exclusively alone, but there is a little bit of resistance to doing it in my church, in your church. Why do I have to do it with you, you know, in this organization? And so I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I think people think I have that and I invent that on my own. Is there a way to respond to that, or is that true?
Well, I think they're just swimming in the water that they're, you know, we all live in. I mean, that's certainly a very strong idea about how people form their identity. So I like to be charitable and say, yeah, you're kind of right according to some standards, but I would encourage them to keep asking the question of whether that's working or not. I really think that that's a pretty shallow pool, and most people figure that out if they are paying attention.
Is that true, Joshua? Do you agree with Ben? How would you respond?
Yeah, I think the shallow pool is a great image. I think what you're trying to get at matters, right? So if people are trying to like go to heaven or something, and they want to take a scientific approach and say, well, what does Jesus actually say in the Gospels that I need to do? What's the minimum amount of work I need to do in order to go to heaven? And what are the things I need to, like, the big ones I need to avoid in order to stop me, from going? I just think that conversation is like very sophomoric, and it's the thing that for me that's really missing is like, if you want to change the world, if you feel the brokenness of your family of origin, of your neighborhood, of the nation, of the earth, then we need more from you. And Jesus is making all kinds of opportunities for us to embody something together. And when we embody something together, when we actually get woven together by His love and try to respond to the thirst and the fractionness of society, it's pretty remarkable. Like even what's happening with this family from Haiti that we've grown close to over the last 5 or 6 years, and just being able to be part of the journey together. That wouldn't be possible if we weren't being linked together in God's love like this.
Yeah, Joshua, I think you're getting into like a practical reality that is beyond sort of the mystical or virtual, or like even like what we can put in a box as spiritual. Like even I'm thinking in putting our resources together. We were talking about this at the About Making a Covenant meeting, that I don't have an extra $100,000 a year to put into relief and development work around the world, but with you guys I do. Like together we have that. And so I think we get into this practical zone of changing the world when we do something together.
And can I bring it then back?
Go ahead, Benjamin.
Can I just real quick bring it then back down to the individual in light of that kind of macro? That changes me too. It gets at the individual when I get to be a part of something bigger. I think most hearts long for that. So it's not like you will be satisfied by that participation. I think we want to be in something that I guess I could mark as like a transcendent experience. That's why we go to these giant concerts to sing along, because we want to be a part of this big group, and we get to do that. And be a blessing to the world. That practicality actually does change the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've gone way over our time, just giving you a heads up about that. I'm glad that you're listening and responding to what we're saying. I hope you keep doing it. Share it if you like. If you're interested in what we're saying, talk about it. And if you want us to address other subjects, please let us know. Generally, we're going to feel this resistance to being a body and being a community because of the worlds that we live in. It's been happening since Corinth. Join us this Sunday as we keep talking about this, as we keep working it out at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock at our various spaces. God bless you. We'll see you next time.